Welcome to this high-energy explainer. Man, do we have an absolutely bizarre, hilarious, and just totally action-packed manhwa story to unpack today. We're going to be following the wild journey of a young guy named Jean Hao who experiences, well, basically one of the most jarring reality checks you could ever possibly imagine. So let's dive right into it.
Seriously, what would you do? Imagine looking up at a red moon in the sky, and literally the next second, your entire reality is flipped completely upside down. That is the exact cold open of our story. Jean Hao's soul is abruptly transmigrated into the body of an alternate universe version of himself. But he quickly realizes that the fundamental rules of this new world are completely, and I mean terrifyingly, reversed. Suddenly, he's the weakest guy in the room, and the social dynamics are just unlike anything he has ever experienced.
It's an insane culture shock. In his old world, you know the drill, men were traditionally expected to be the physically strong providers. But in this new reality, men are considered delicate, fragile, and their absolute top priority is looking pretty. The ultimate wake-up call hits Jean Hall when he looks at his best friend, Brother Long. Now, in the old world, Brother Long was the ultimate tough guy icon. But now, he's this blonde, manicured boy clinging to Jean Hall's arm, obsessing over facial masks, and proudly showing off his brand new lip balm.
So that brings us to Section 1, the matriarchal world order where women rule the earth.
Think about it like this. Every single emperor in history here was actually an empress. Women do all the heavy lifting, they work the demanding jobs, and they basically carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. Men, on the other hand, are expected to stay home, raise the kids, and just act as precious, fragile commodities. And get this, the physical differences have actually evolved too. Men are naturally weaker here and lose their stamina incredibly fast. So when Brother Long runs away from a creepy woman staring at them, Jean Hao is just utterly crushed. His internal monologue perfectly captures his despair. He thinks, if you are already buying face masks, you might as well buy a knife and finish me off. He completely refuses to conform. At one point, he tries to get a fierce dragon tattoo, only to have the female tattoo artist almost faint from nosebleeds just because he took his shirt off.
Moving right along to Section 2, going viral and fighting back. Or, becoming a real man. Notice how rapidly his simple acts of defiance snowball into absolute chaos. Let's look at the timeline. On day 1, instead of letting Brother Long pick out women's clothing for him, Jean Hao just buys standard, tough men's clothes. By day 2, a random stranger secretly snaps a photo of him eating a burger, looking aggressively handsome by this world's standards. Day 3, that single photo hits the top 5 trending list on social media, with literally millions of thirsty women demanding to know who this guy is. And by day 4, under pressure from a streaming platform, he accidentally becomes the internet's top fitness streamer. How? Simply by doing basic workouts and showing off muscles that men in this world are never, ever supposed to have. This rebellious streak of his eventually comes to a head in a truly epic restroom brawl. When this scheming, delicate, pretty boy named Lu Fong and his obsessed female fans try to bully him and Brother Long, Jean Hao doesn't cower like a typical man in this world would. No. He completely snaps, delivering this unbelievably cinematic line. Today, on behalf of 3.5 billion men, I'm teaching you two scammers a lesson. He single-handedly beats down the bullies. It is just an incredibly satisfying moment that totally shatters the fragile male stereotype. But it also draws some highly unwanted attention. Right, so because of his viral fame and unusually aggressive behavior, Jean Hao finds himself targeted by a very dangerous harem. First up, we have Sister Chin Chin, the beautiful daughter of his new stepmother. She seems like this perfect, caring older sister, but she is fiercely overprotective and hides some terrifying obsessive tendencies. Next is CEO Wei Nan. She's the domineering, ultra-rich boss of the Phoenix Group, who absolutely despises typical weak men, but becomes instantly fascinated by Jean Hao's fiery attitude. Finally, there's Yu Ha. She's a quiet, brutally strong classmate who possesses terrifying combat skills, combined with an innocent, unwavering obedience to Jean Hao. Make no mistake, each of them poses a unique, terrifying threat to his hopes for a peaceful life. But hey, before the real danger fully sets in, there are some pretty absurd perks to his situation. Just look at this number, 38,000. That is the amount of yuan Jean Hao makes in a single night of fitness streaming. He doesn't even beg for gifts. He just plays games, works out, and the platform literally showers him with money. It perfectly visualizes the wild economic benefits of his viral fame in a society that is completely starved for masculine men. Which brings us to Section 3, the CEO's Blood Moon Discovery. The big secret is out. You see, Wei Nan isn't just rich, she is highly intelligent.
After Jinhao continuously rejects her advances and actually escapes her grasp after a chaotic encounter in a restroom, she has her bodyguards kidnap him. She ties him to a bed in her villa, looks down at him, and asks a chilling question. "Who are you?" She flat out tells him that she knows his soul has been replaced.
And Weinan isn't just guessing here. It turns out she is secretly researching a once-in-a-century anomaly called the blood moon phenomenon. She points out that the original Jinhao was this delicate, crying, soft little sweetheart who used to write obsessive, simping posts about her on social media. But this new Jinhao? He fights gang leaders, masters video games overnight, and looks at her with total, utter indifference. The timeline of his drastic personality change aligns perfectly with the blood moon. She offers him a contract to study him, which brilliantly turns the plot into a gripping sci-fi mystery. We do get a quick, hilarious comedic breather here, though. Later on, when Jinhao goes to Weinan's office to collect a bounty, he casually lights up one of her cigarettes just to see what it smells like. Weinan just smirks and casually informs him that that single cigarette costs 60,000 yuan on the market, meaning he now owes her money. It's such a hilarious power play that shows exactly how ridiculously wealthy and controlling she really is.
All right, Section 4. Brawls and jealous rivals. It's time for some schoolyard chaos. Enter the so-called green tea boy, Lin Zhongjong. This guy constantly tries to frame Jinhao by stuffing illicit love letters and censored items into his desk every single day to ruin his reputation. But Jinhao is always a step ahead. He executes this incredibly satisfying trap. Step 1, he sneaks into the classroom at night and literally installs a high-tech infrared alarm inside his desk. Step 2, he just waits. Step 3, when Lin Zhongjong reaches in, the alarm blares, Jinhao catches him on camera red-handed and gets the bully publicly reprimanded. It is tactical perfection.
But that trap leads to a massive brawl, which totally reveals the terrifying dual nature of Yuhua. On one hand, she is the innocent friend who just wants to hold Jinhao's hand and gets all shy over a simple hug. On the other hand, when Lin Zhongjong's thugs try to jump Jinhao, Yuhua instantly switches into a brutal fighter. Her aura terrifies the delinquents. She breaks noses and completely loses control, wanting to destroy absolutely anyone who bullies him. Because of this extreme violence, Yuha's strict family locks her away in a pitch-black punishment room for days.
Let's pull this all together in Section 5, Surviving the Dangerous Harem. He is caught in an inescapable web. When you compare his tormentors, it's pretty bleak. You've got Weinan, whose threat level is incredibly high because she knows his sci-fi secret. She uses corporate power, kidnappings, and literally forces him into corners. But then you have Sister Chen Qin. Her threat level is extreme because they actually live together. She uses emotional manipulation, orchestrates a fake date where they have to act like a couple, and carefully monitors his every single move. When Jinhao is streaming, she will literally pull the plug to stop other women from looking at him. If you had any doubts about Sister Chen Qin, this chilling line absolutely cements her status as a full-blown yandere. After Jinhao comes home smelling faintly of another woman's perfume, she takes his clothes under the guise of washing them. But instead, she literally burns them, whispering to herself how Hao doesn't need anything stained with another woman's scent. She is quietly isolating him, locking down his present life with terrifying precision. And while his sister is locking down his present, Weinan is busy digging up his past. The CEO's private investigators actually managed to locate the exact daycare Jinhao attended as a little boy. Weinan's secretary demands the daycare staff hand over the files, utterly determined to find out why a little girl claimed Jinhao years ago. And here's the crazy part. A girl who, as Jinhao's suppressed memories are just starting to reveal, was very likely Sister Chen Chen herself. So he might have the strength of a true man in a world of fragile boys, but he is completely outmatched by the obsessive power players surrounding him right now. With a domineering CEO literally unraveling his childhood secrets, a brutally violent classmate who will destroy anyone in his path, and a yandere stepsister tightening her grip on his daily life, can Jinhao actually survive this matriarchal nightmare? It's a brilliant, highly stressful cliffhanger that absolutely leaves us desperate to see his next move. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.